If you are watching this video, I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself back in your favorite classroom when you were a child. What was it about that classroom that you liked so much? Was it because your teacher was strict? Was it because your teacher included you and your friends in the lessons as she was teaching? Maybe it was because your teacher let you and your classmates run around and run the classroom by yourself, or maybe it was because your teacher just simply did not care. Classroom management styles have an effect on students. My name is Allison Kohler. I'm a former Head Start teacher with 5 years of experience in the education field, and I'm studying to earn my bachelor's degree in early childcare and education. Today, I'm going to talk to you about each of the 4 classroom management styles. I'll begin with an authoritarian classroom, then I'll make my way down the hall to an authoritative classroom, go across the hall to a permissive classroom, and lastly, I will end with the indulgent classroom. By the end of this video, I hope you will understand each of the classroom management styles and how it affected you as a student. So it is quite possible that at some time in your life you had a teacher with an authoritarian classroom. When you think of an authoritarian classroom, you might think the teacher you had was very strict and didn't leave much to the imagination. This teacher probably always had the day mapped out from beginning to end, and they had extremely high expectations for you and your classmates. The website TeachHub defines the authoritarian classroom as having the teacher having total control over the classroom and not giving students any flexibility. So, if you were the type of student to misbehave, then the chances are you probably wouldn't have fit in great in an authoritarian classroom, being that authoritarians are not very tolerant of misbehavior. However, if you are a stickler for the rules and think that being in school means you go to school to learn, then the authoritarian classroom would have been the one for you. My personal favorite and what I strive to have is an authoritative classroom. So the authoritative classroom is the type of classroom that was my favorite when I was growing up, and I believe that plays a part as to why I would like that classroom when I become a teacher. The website of Indeed defines authoritative classroom management as high control and high involvement. The teacher values discipline and order while also valuing student connections and learning more about their lives and their hobbies and their interests. This means that your teacher probably showed you genuine interest in each of the students and what you really had to say, while maintaining those high expectations for your behavior and your academic work. In my opinion, it's the best of both worlds. If you'd like to play around and joke, then the chances are the teacher that you had that was an authoritative teacher would have joked around with you to an extent and then encouraged you to get back to work. And if you were the type of kid to keep your head in the books and follow rules to the T, then the teacher would have praised you for that as well. So nowadays we're seeing even more permissive classroom management styles. With so much pressure being put on teachers by administration, angry parents, and Texas Education Agency, it is no wonder that teachers are giving up and just resorting to a permissive classroom management style. The website of TeachHub defines permissive classroom management as low levels of control and low involvement. Then this means the teacher does not engage their students and does not have the desire to. Think of going into your classroom when you had a substitute teacher. The teacher gives you the work that they were told to and really doesn't offer that much help. So this would have been like you were going into your permissive classroom every single day. It's fun to goof around and not take school serious for a few days, but after a while it would have gotten boring. You wouldn't have been being engaged or stimulated in any way, and that plays a huge factor in how you start to retain information. So if you enjoyed not doing anything in school, not even so much as a worksheet, then the permissive classroom would have been the right fit for you. Lastly, we see a lot of first-year teachers are most likely to have an indulgent classroom management style. The website of Indeed defines indulgent classroom management styles as low control but high involvement. So teachers value their students and engage in conversations with them. However, they tend to rely on their students' abilities to work independently. First year teachers are still coming to their way of how they want to do things. They're eager to work with their students, but they often doubt their own abilities, and they overestimate their other students' abilities And that can play a part as to why you might feel like you had a great teacher, you love to talk to them, but you felt like you would fall behind in coursework because you weren't getting that support from them in that area. But if you were ever in a classroom where you felt like you loved to be around your teacher, then the indulgent classroom style probably would have been the right fit for you. So our tour of each classroom is now complete. As you can see, every classroom management style plays a part on how a child feels about the classroom that they're in. I hope that you are now able to understand each of the 4 classroom management styles. Authoritarian, which means a classroom where the teacher is completely in control. Authoritative, which means the teacher and the students are in control together. Permissive, which means the teacher was not interested in control. And lastly, the indulgent, which means the teacher was so involved with the children that they would lose control of the classroom every now and then. So now that you have had time to reflect on your favorite classroom memory and you know the 4 classroom management styles, I hope you can come to the conclusion of what type of classroom you enjoyed being in as a child.